All right, Broncos country, welcome back to the Mile High Monsters. I'm Mike Carmelini. It is always wonderful to see you all on the big show. I will get to all your comments tonight. I almost promise. Depends on how crazy it gets. You know how it is when you're doing the solo show. You do the best you can. Question tonight: do the Broncos have the best roster in the AFC? I think it's a fair question now. Probably should start with the AFC West. Let's just put that to bed. Okay. The Broncos definitely have the best roster in the AFC West. You start at the bottom with the Raiders. They're clearly rebuilding. Um, they spent really heavy. They picked up Tyler Linderbaum for like $27 million a year. That's a center, by the way. We assume that Fernando Mendoza will be coming in as their rookie starter. Don't know what's going to happen with Max Crosby, but I mean, it's still the weakest roster in the AFC West, so they're really not a factor. Um, I've got the Chiefs third. Um, they regressed really bad last year, 6-11. You've got Mahomes recovering from his ACL, and they lost McDuffie, among others. I think even with the Kenneth Walker addition, of course, they brought in Justin Fields, which who cares? Um, but they don't have anybody at receiver, tight end. Their secondary's a mess. Um, I kind of agree with. I think maybe it was Ryan Edwards uh, or DMAC. One of those guys was like saying this is kind of like a reset year for the Chiefs. This is a year they're going to, um, you know, build for the Mahomes second run or his twilight year run, kind of like what they did with Brady uh, with the Patriots, where they kind of built the Super Bowl team. They did that, then they fell off, and they had to pay the dues for all the people they signed, and so they did the reset, brought in different players, and started over. And I think that's kind of what the Kansas City Chiefs are going to do. So I think next year is going to be competitive with them. 10 wins or something, I would say. I think they're going to be a good team, but they certainly don't have that great of a roster right now. Now, the tricky one, I think, is the Chargers. They were pretty aggressive in free agency trying to get that offensive line fixed. Um, and they've got pretty good cap space, draft capital. Um, I see them as a like a playoff contender, like a good team. I don't trust them, uh, probably because I'm a Broncos fan. I don't trust them to do anything in the playoffs. Um, but this is about rosters. This is about kind of rankings. We'll get into predictions in the season, of course, like after free agency, because we're mid free agency right now. So the bulk of free agency is done, and as we sit here right now, it's the Broncos that have the best roster. And I'm going to bring up the roster for the offense, defense. I'll even bring up special teams too. Um, just so we can all visualize what we have, and maybe even what's, the person that is behind them. Um, I went kind of crazy with the inaction at the beginning of free agency, like a lot of us did. Some of us were like, "Hey, just wait, just chill." But what they actually did is they shifted the landscape from, defense. They just kept everybody on defense, except JFM, of course, couldn't keep him, but pretty much kept everybody else. In fact, they did keep everybody else, and then added like the biggest, probably most important piece of the puzzle with Jaylen Waddle. So, coming off a 14-3 season, uh, an ankle away from the Super Bowl. You've got this core defense returning, and you've got this possibly explosive offense. It's going to be really tough to defend. And then J.K. Dobbins coming back healthy. R.J. Harvey in his second year has to improve and will. I'm already high on him anyway. So I think we can close the book on the AFC West. Now, where it gets a little tricky, I think, is although I believe the Broncos should be one or two favorite for in the AFC. I would say first. And I think I went out and looked and see where they were ranking, where other people were ranking them. Now this is Fox, CBS, ESPN. Essentially, they've ranked the AFC West rosters as well. And they do have the Broncos at top. And I'll just read this. The consensus top roster in the division right now. The Waddle trade pushes them over the top, building on last year's near miss at Super Bowl. Strong QB, receiving core, and defense make them favorites to repeat as champs. So there's your AFC West. And then they do have the Chargers, Chiefs, and Raiders following them. So, like I said, we haven't even got to the draft yet. So we'll have to look at it again. But as we sit here today, it's fluid. I get it. But the Broncos clearly are the class of the AFC West heading into late free agency and the draft. Now, we don't have as many draft picks as we had, but we really don't need them now. And I'll show you that on the roster in a moment, because I'm going to dare you to find an open slot for any existing free agent or draft pick that's out there. And there might be a couple draft picks out there, but where we sit now at 62, there's very few that will be there. Power rankings kind of league wide. If you let's go here. So you've got Seahawks, Rams, Broncos. You've got and this one's what, NFL. Same thing. You've got Seahawks, Rams, Broncos. So Broncos are power ranked ahead of everybody in the AFC. I think it's probably fair to make this argument that the Broncos have the best roster in the AFC. I'd like to say hello to Martin and see what he has to say real quick. AFC West, 1 Broncos, Chargers, Chiefs, Raiders. I think Chargers are close. Waddle put over the top for me. Yeah, Waddle made the difference. Like it was such a savvy, smart addition to the team, where it's going to make so many people better that it almost fixes holes in other rooms that you didn't even have to get players for. But we're not done in free agency yet, so this team's actually going to get better. And then Northern Audi, first time I've seen you. Welcome in. I hope to see you back in the chat more often. Go Broncos. Yes, indeed. Go Broncos. Broncos are the best roster. Let's let me see if I can do this right. Let's start with offense, shall we? Now, look at this roster with me, you guys. So Dobbins is back. He's our lead running back. Is that everybody on there? Do I need to get rid of my overlay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, everybody's on there. Sweet. Now Dobbins is a top 5 to top 8 running back in the league when he's healthy. Now we do know that's been an issue, right? So, and then R.J. Harvey is right there as your number 2, or your change of pace back, your playmakers, scored more touchdowns than anybody else on the team. So we're sitting really, really good at running back. Now you look at Jaylen Waddle, Cortland Sutton, Troy Franklin, and then you can throw Pat Bryant, Marvin Mims in there. Super, super strong wide receiver room. And you guys that have been watching the show, you've heard me say it 100 times. If you just get one number 1 wide receiver on this team, that room will look amazing, because everybody's responsibilities gets to drop down just one notch. And now these guys can absolutely cook. I mean, court's not going to be up against their number one DB and a safety every time. You know, Jaylen's going to be able to take care of business against double teamers. Everybody else is going to be singled. That opens up Ingram too at tight end. This is one of our weaker rooms, but I do believe Davis Webb is going to get Evan Ingram involved. Adam Troutman is fine. I didn't like the contract, but we're still solid there now because of the addition of Waddle and what that will mean for our tight ends. They're not going to be able to. They're not really going to be able to spend much time, you know, watching over these guys. Those guys are going to have some open fields, and you know, we'll see what Davis Webb does with that. Fullback Adam Prentice back, and then you've got every lineman back. It says Ben Powers there for left guard. We'll see how that works out. Palczewski's right there. He played 10 games for us last year. I also saw they brought back Matt today or yesterday, which is good. Hope he's healthy. I mean, Alex Forsyth, Throckmorton, Crum, there's your whole offense right there. And it feels elevated now. The offensive line is one of the better in the league, certainly at Pass Pro. Some of that is because of Bo Nix, which now I don't see on the list. So he's probably right there under the overlay. So might be. I wonder if I can move that. Look at that. There we go. All right. See, I'm starting to learn how to use this stuff. That makes me so proud. So there's Bo Nix, Jared Stidham, and then I guess I don't really know why we're keeping Stidham with what he costs after they signed Sam Ehlinger, but maybe it's just three. Maybe they just need to have three quarterbacks. We'll see at the end of camp what they do with that. But there's a lot of cap space and contracts sitting there under Jared Stidham. So Turtle 4614, who do you think, what position do we get in free agency now? So they're looking for depth. Did they, so guys, did they sign the safety Tyson? Was it Tyson Anderson? Is that his name? Did that finally come about? I didn't get a chance. I kind of ran in the house, threw my stuff in the kitchen, and then ran out here to the studio to make it at 7:30 on time. So I didn't see that. But I think they're going to be looking for depth pieces now. Turtle thinks it looks like he thinks so, but somebody check Twitter and just get that for me, just in case. We don't want to give anybody any bad information, but yeah, to answer your question, Turtle, we need a backup for J.K. Dobbins. Not a backup for R.J. Harvey. Not that R.J. Harvey isn't a good running back, but he's a different running back. We need a depth piece there. So I think they'll target someone there. I think they'll target someone at safety. Well, they probably already covered that. And then inside linebacker would be another one. It wouldn't surprise me if you see them go after some defensive front seven help in free agency as well. But who? I don't know. This has been such a weird offseason. I'd hate to guess who that would be. I mean, there are some names. Cam Jordan's out there. People still talk about Njoku. Okay, so confirmed. Thanks, Turtle. We did sign the safety, so that one's in the past. There's going to be more of those. We also, I think, Matt Pert restructured his deal. Created another like $1 million in cap space. So the Broncos still could make another kind of splashy move too. They still have the cap space to do that. That Waddle move, guys, that Waddle move is a Super Bowl run move. I mean, that's the only excuse for making a giving away a first and a third and swapping fourths. That's because you believe that this team can get you to a Super Bowl. But look at this offense, and now you tell me, because I'm caught up on my chat. There's not a lot of people in the chat tonight. I see a lot of people watching, but not a lot of people in the chat, and that's fine. But here's your starting lineup right there, depending on what they do with Palczewski and Powers, depending on how healthy he is. there it is. Like who are you going to replace out of that list with anyone that's available in free agency? And two, like where in the draft? Now, don't forget, we don't pick till like 62. So you could get a Coleman. You could get Washington as a running back, maybe, but I still say J.K. Dobbins would be running back 1, and he would be the backup. What's up, Vic? Welcome back, buddy. It's good to see you. I saw you. I saw. So Vic is here, and he says, "Yo," he's saying hi to everybody. Vic, someone, what show? I was guesting on someone's show the other night, and someone kept calling you Vichin, which I thought was kind of funny. If it's Vichin, then I apologize, but I always thought it was Vic, and I'm sticking with Vic. It's hot in Cali. Yeah, man, I know it's hot in a lot of places today. My wife's down in Phoenix for the week, and she says like 107 or something like that. So it's a nice balmy 80 here at the Carmelini Ranch today. See, it is Vic. I knew that. See, Mike is not right a lot, but he's no Ben Albright either. So he gets something right. Admits when you're wrong. Sorry, Ben. I'm just bagging on you this week. You had a rough week. Anybody see anybody you'd replace on offense here, or that could be? That's a pretty strong offense. Don't forget that offense has played together. This will be like the 3rd year together. So they're going to be great. Adam Webb, Davis Webb is going to use Ingram. They're going to run 12 personnel. And when they do, I mean, Troutman's not your dream world, but if Troutman's on one side, Ingram's on the other, and then you've got Cortland and Waddle on the outside, you're going to have to be really careful because J.K. Dobbins, if he's in the backfield, or R.J. Harvey's in the backfield, and that's set, you have to be really careful because they can run or throw from that set, and it's going to be real hard to tell the difference. And if I promise you, if they double Waddle and anybody bites too much on Sutton, Davis is going to have Evan Ingram ready. You saw what he did with him last time that he went to him. He's going to take advantage of that. They're going to make sure of that. All right, so does this get any easier or does it get harder? Yeah, no doubt. Here's our defense, guys. Now we lost Franklin Myers. But literally everyone else is back. And I'm not saying that's the greatest thing. I thought they could have improved in the wide receiver or the linebacker room. Greenlaw wasn't effective, and he had a couple good games, but he didn't really make a difference. Brandon Jones coming back, if he comes back healthy, I just see that is a super solid defense. Still not happy. Jahdae Barron is sitting there. We'll see what they do with him. They might be a good problem to have now. I'm glad Tillman's back. We'll see what Uwazurike does. He could be valuable, and still like what we've gotten Savion Jones and Q Robinson. I think is like a 3rd stringer, but I've liked what I've seen from those young guys too. So this defense, who ranked, depending on where you look, 2nd or 3rd in the league last year, is essentially back. And I like that Sternad's going to be playing more. I think we might be our swan song with Drew Sanders here. So look to the draft there, and again in free agency for inside linebacker position, I would say. This one first. Run game needs to be more of a threat first and foremost. Yeah, and it was until JK went down. So when JK went down, I think he was like the 3rd best running back in the league at the time. And I know we can't depend on him to be healthy. But the one caveat to that is it's always it's been like different freak injuries. It's not like he keeps blowing out his knee over and over again or something like that. So there's a chance that he it will revert back to the mean. He will actually play a lot more this year, and if he does, lights out. Having said that, the Broncos definitely need to have a backup plan this year. They didn't have one last year. I'm going to zoom in a little bit just because I know you guys want to see my ugly mug. All right, so now I feel more connected to you. We're connected. So yeah, I agree with Turtle. I agree with you. The run game needs to be better. It was not good enough last year. Put too much pressure on Bo. Don't think this addition of Waddle doesn't loosen up the run game. A lot of teams were stacking the box to stop the run against the Broncos, or they were playing like that deep stuff, and Waddle opens up so much of that stuff. Davis Webb, if he's smart, will use the we'll let RJ Harvey leak out of the backfield for a 6-yard dump off that he could go for 40 yards. And Evan Ingram could go for 40 yards. Those plays are going to be there. And I do believe that's what's going to happen. Yeah, we can't stop the runs either. So here's what here's the way I hate it, but here's what they do. They play between the 20s. So their plan is to not give up 60-yard touchdowns. We kind of let them do whatever between the 20s. We play back, we play safe, we want to rush. But the way the offense was playing last year, we didn't really get a chance to get them into a passing game and a pass rush game, which is the strength of our defense, right? Is our pass rush and our defensive backs. Our linebackers are the weakness of our defense, and they're stopping runs 5 yards down the field and making it look easy. So they're going to have to fix that for sure. Yeah, J-Rod's a possibility, and we talked about this, I think, with David. I don't know. After when we signed Waddle, I ended up, I was on like 3 shows back to back to back, 2 different shows, one with the Horsepower Hour guys, and then one with the Broncos bros, and then of course my own with David Talks Broncos, and it was just my brain just melted. So I don't remember, but I know this came up, Vic, and that would be a great pick for us. I prefer a running back at 62 if one of those guys are there, especially like Coleman or something. Maybe even jump up for Pierce. Also, if we're dealing with the Dolphins already, would you give your 2nd round pick for A-Chain? The guy's getting like 1,300 yards a season right now. He'd be a great that'd be a great 1, 2, 3 punch in the running back room. Martin, my guy. Yeah, unless we make crazy trade, which we've already done, our offense is set. Still need a good running back backup. Even if we get Njoku, other than blocking, I still like Ingram over him. I like Ingram over him too. I didn't like the way Sean didn't want to use him. It was frustrating. His numbers, Ingram's numbers for separation were good. He was great with the ball after he got it. Like, he looked good running the ball. I thought it was just kind of a wasted year for him. But, well, we went 14-3. What am I talking about? But you know what I'm saying. Those games were a little closer, I think, than they needed to be with that defense, which our defense gets frustrating sometimes, don't get me wrong. But, I think I'm kind of out on Njoku at this point. It's just, I don't know the cost based on, like, Troutman is not like one of our better players, but he's not like the worst thing that's ever happened to the Broncos either. So it's kind of like, let's see what they try and do with him. Turtle comes back in. He says, "That's my nightmare. We rely on a run game that if it doesn't get better, Bo is prone to another injury, and we're right back in the same spot. Dude, don't even say those words on this team. Don't even say it. Chad, I'll get right back to you. But again, I asked the question, is there anyone you're replacing here? Not with anybody that's out there. I mean, a lot of people wanted us to replace Alex Singleton this year, but he's back. Now the team is extremely happy he's back. The players are super excited. So, guys, it has to mean something. What is VJ asking him to do? Sometimes they're asking him to do things that he's just not good at. And maybe this year Sternad will be the one chasing running backs out of the backfield instead of Singleton. And maybe Sternad will be a little faster and a little bit better on that game. But I mean, Hufanga and Jones, the safeties are great. The corners are great. The nickel's fantastic. I'm a huge Jaquan McMillan fan. Maybe just a little bit more depth or something on the line to help with that run game. But other than that, this is a strong, third in scoring or second in scoring defense that we had last year. And by the way, I think PFM only had like not even middle of the pack tackles on this team. Like he was a really good player, but I don't think that's a killer for us. Okay. Vic, Waddle's first tee, the whole offense will do the Waddle. I don't know if the whole offense will, but I know we'll be doing it at home. I know if Franklin or Mims or any of those young guys are out there, they're going to do that. I would see Bo doing it. Certainly RJ would do it. I don't know that. I don't know if Court will. He's 31 years old. Whatever, he might. But it would be great if they did. They should just waddle all the way back to the end zone. That would be amazing. All right, let me close this part out. Will Lutz, Crawshaw turned out great. Marvin Mims is all-pro returner. Mitchell Fabroni, if you don't know that name, it's because that's a good thing. He's our long snapper. Special teams really came out the gate last year. If you remember, 2 losses, some special teams gaffes, and then they just got solid. Lutz was clutch for the rest of the year. He won some games for us. He was our highest scoring player, of course. And then Jeremy, who everybody wanted to replace Crawshaw in training camp and in the preseason because he was just nervous and he was a kid. And then he turned out to be a great punter for the rest of the year. So I have to tell myself to relax as much as the next guy. But here we are. That's a hell of a roster, guys, already. No way around it. And we're gonna make a case. Like in the AFC, the whole AFC. So we hold down the top spot in the AFC West. Let me get to a couple more of these because I see my guy Lucifer over here. Jadarian Price should still be on the board. If Price is on the board at 62 and Coleman is on the board at 62 and Mike Washington is on the board at 62 and they don't go with one of those guys, I guess depending on who else is there, like somebody could fall back and then shock us. But I mean, if they go, I don't want them to pick the 4th best inside linebacker there unless they're just really high on him. They better take one of those running backs. We passed over a bunch of them last year for Jade Barron. I wasn't happy about that. I'm still not happy about it. In fact, I've been saying, maybe we could trade him and get something out of him, but he could be a great player for us. We'll see. And I've heard the talk about moving him to safety, and I'll say all this, and then Riley Moss will get hurt, or PS2's been getting injured the last few years, so it might be good to have that insurance. We already spent the money, so why worried about it? Turtle says, same as I always say, I'm not that worried about tight ends now. We just need to use them more. And Martin says, as far as special teams, I would like to get better backup for Mims. If he gets hurt, it's real sketchy real quick. Waddle will do it, but I know you don't like that. Yeah, I know you heard me say that, especially kickoff returns. I mean, I hate to say it. The practice squad is probably where they're not going to keep a backup returner. I'm not going to put a lot of money in that, Martin. That's just the team building strategy like that it's tough. Um, you can't cover them all deep, and that's just one of those positions that uh, I don't know that you can really plan for too much back there. But who do we have? We had well, Bidet will be on the team, so there's kickoff returns, and then as far as punts go, you've got Bandy can catch the ball and not do anything with it. But if Mims goes out, yeah, we'll be hurting on special teams. Um, and honestly, watching what Mims did last year in the clutch games when we really needed him, I would be sad if Mims went out. I mean, just last year in the playoffs, like we were throwing passes to Bandy and little Jordan Humphrey. Now this year, our third, fourth, and fifth running backs are Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims, and Pat Bryant. Wow, what an upgrade, man! What an upgrade. Let's talk about the AFC now. Now, I did a little research on this about what the thought is out there. So I kind of put them all together, and I'm not the only one that thinks the Broncos of the AFC, the clear class of the AFC as far as roster at this point. Again, they all talk about the Jaylen Waddle and the dynamic for that receiving core, how the defense remains elite. I hate calling them elite. I really do. I don't think they're elite. I think they're good at that. The Texans, there's other teams that have more kind of an elite defense. The Broncos are like, they know what they want to do, and they know what, like everything has to kind of go right for them. But when you watch like the Jaguars or somebody like that just march up and down the field, it gets a little frustrating. You don't see them do that against other teams. But I guess the argument to the Broncos having the best roster would be, I mean, you could go to the Bills next. But they got a new head coach, right? Didn't they fire? Gosh, it's hard to keep track. And I've already forgotten everything that happened last year. But I think they fired their head coach. Yeah, they shot Sean McDermott, right, or whatever his name was. He's fired. And then they signed DJ Moore in a trade and brought up Bradley Chubb. I didn't even know Bradley was still playing. I don't know that there's any real upgrade there. Chubb's always hurt. I'd still put the Bills below the Broncos in the AFC. The Ravens got Trey Hendrickson, which is a great pick when they screwed Max Crosby out of that trade. And their defense is fine, but their offensive line got worse. I'm not really sold on some of their weapons. We'll see. Oh my God, who's the running back that's 90 years old and keeps getting 1,000 yards a season? He's going to the Hall of Fame. Anyways, see what's left of him when he comes back. I don't know. Any other arguments you guys have for AFC? Like who could even challenge the Broncos in the AFC? Patriots did a lot of work this offseason, but I thought we all did that they really overachieved last year. They're not going to have that really soft schedule, but we're talking about rosters. I know they picked up Dobbs. They got a few help, a little help on defense, but they got a lot of health is like risky signings. So I don't put a lot of faith in that. Chiefs are down. I can't even think of anybody else. Honestly, guys, unless you do, I think it's pretty straightforward. The Broncos have the best roster in the whole AFC. Hell, I might even start diving into the NFC, but I'm not gonna do that because I'm in too good of a mood, and I would probably talk them in. I mean, they'd be top 5 for sure, but I would have to look at it. All right, let me see if I can get caught back up in my chat with my guys. Where was I? Rodney. Good evening, Mike. Go Broncos. Hope all is well. You too, Rodney. It's always good to see you, my brother. Thank you for coming in. Everybody in the chat, I think you recognize that name. If you don't, you haven't been paying attention. Martin, and now that we have Waddle, I guess we could use Franklin in the return game. Has he done a lot of return? I guess I don't know his history on that, but it's a good point. I mean, they can sure try it out. He's kind of got a, like, who would you rather risk there? I think I would, you're talking about like if Mims goes down, God forbid. Yeah, maybe Franklin could do punts. I don't know. I mean, I love how his hands got better last year, right? He improved. 700 yards receiving, all that. So, but yeah, I don't know what his experience is on that. All right, brother. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you soon, man. Thank you so much for watching. Rodney, hope Waddle really helps us off. And dude, he's going to help this offense. I promise you. Like Davis Webb absolutely has to be licking his chops right now. This depth chart on offense, like this doesn't even include, like, Pat Bryant was flashing, man. Like he's probably more here where Franklin is, just because he's still questionable or listed, from with his concussions and stuff. But then I think he only had like 37 receptions last year, so maybe we're overvaluing Pat a little bit. Let me look that up real quick. Pat Bryant, 31 receptions, and Franklin had 65, so he had twice as many, and he had 700 yards. The thing about Pat Bryant, though, is he averages 12.2 yards a catch. That's only second out of the starters to Sutton. It's Franklin's 10, and Mims is 8. So yeah, I mean, Pat Bryant showed a lot of potential out there. So we'll see where that lands. I don't know how much it matters now that we've got our 1 and 2. Like, we probably won't spend a whole lot of time trying to figure out who our wide receiver 3 is, if they're going to play wide, 5 wides, how much Davis Webb is going to incorporate his air raid from Texas Tech and meld that with some of the Sean Payton stuff. And then Sean did some of the college stuff, and some things really started working right after the break, right? Like they went to the break and they said, okay, what's working, what's not. And then Bo Nix was just on fire for the rest of the season. So now that this is all set, and now we have a full-time offensive coordinator calling plays, like Joe Lombardi, God bless you. But, Sean Payton was doing everything and trying to run a team. I like the dynamic. And I think this offense could put on a show. So, Big E, finally, I've been waiting for you in the house. How's everybody doing tonight? I think we're all doing great, Rodney says. We all hope you are as well. The Denver Broncos going to have 3 wide receivers over 1,000 yards. Somebody said that. I would not put money on that, but certainly possible. So I got my initial thought was, okay, Bo's going to go for 4,500 yards. And then I started doing some math, and I thought, Sutton could get his 1,000. Jaylen will certainly get his 1,000. Now, this is always assuming everybody stays healthy. But that's what you do. You don't project for injuries. Who else gets 1,000? Troy Franklin had 7 in 17 games, so he's a possibility. I think they start spreading the ball around more. It's going to be tough. If anybody's going to do it, it might have to be Ingram, or something crazy like that. But if he does that, you're looking at a 5,000-yard receiver, and you're looking at 30 points a game and a Super Bowl victory, probably. Do we have a bell cow running back? Well, we do, Rodney. It is Dobbins. Now I know Sean probably doesn't like that term, bell cow, but we'll call him, your first, a 3-down back, or back you can use when it's 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, and you need to pound your way through. Dobbins is really good at that. RJ was not. Try and get out of the screen passing game a little screen heavy. Although Waddle is actually one of the better screen pass wide receivers in the league. Oh man, these solo shows kill me. My voice. But yeah, I mean, JK's our RB1. He's our bell cow. See how long he does that. So let's get a proper backup, who's 5'9", or not 5'9", or 5'8", like we have. That's 5'10", 5'11", and 225 pounds. And I think we'll be good. All right, my new friend Jackson's back. Good to see you, buddy. Hi, Mike. We should draft a running back that can help with the return game. Jadarian Price is great at returning. I didn't know that. As you guys know, I don't pretend to be an analyst. I want Jadarian Price on the team. Apparently, he might be available, but I don't dive deep enough to know that he is good at returning. So that would be nice, because that kind of gets rid of the reason for keeping Jade Barron, or Bidet, not Jade Barron. Sorry, keeping Bidet in the running back room. You've got, who do you want, Bidet or Jaleel? We've got both of them on the team right now. But if you draft Price at 62, or you move up to get him, he's like 1A, or 2B or something. Like, it's gonna be a 3. It's gonna be a 3 guy, but that's what they run. Maybe Davis won't do that. I hope he doesn't. Like, there's one thing I hate. There's several things that bug me about Sean Payton when he's calling plays. One of them is, I miss the days back when we had running backs and running back coaches and running games where you would just ride the hot hand, until he got tired, and then you would give him some relief and then put him in. Like, these running backs, and all you guys played sports, or a lot of you did, when you go out into a game, your uniform's all clean, and you haven't got the crap knocked out of you yet, and snap the ball and drop back. And like, I used to just love like getting hit, getting some sweat worked up, get loose before you really get going. And I think running backs probably feel that way too. Like, it takes some, especially if you're on the road, it's a different stadium, it's a different field, the lighting's different, everything's different, and the grass is different. You're getting used to being on the field, you're getting comfortable, and then there's like all these like little distractions at first, and like, we're just pulling running backs in and out, like this committee thing. I think it's a little overboard. I'd much rather see them, just bell cow it, run the ball. And certainly Jadarian Price would be somebody that would be able to do that. Coleman as well. Here we go. I like it. So Biggie, so you were the one that said 3. Yeah, you were. 1,300. I think I said the same thing. 12 to 1,300. Sutton gets 1,150. Franklin 1,000. Pat Bryant 600. Everybody else 500. I mean, that could happen. Why not? The hell? God, I would love. Now, imagine those numbers. So you're talking about 24, 34, 4, 4,550 ish, and then you throw in RJ Harvey. He's going to get 300 yards or so. So I don't think that. I think everybody else, you have to have Ingram in there. There's no way Ingram's getting less than. He's going to get 5 himself. He's probably going to get closer to 6. Yeah, we're looking at a 4,500 yard season, 45 to 5,000 yard season if we keep these guys healthy. So let's do that. I like it. We need to establish run game. We don't need to be going 5 wide. Yeah, Mike McGinnis gets beat all the time. Actually, his percent wasn't that bad last time. We spent 65% of our pass protection, shit blocking. Yeah, I guess that's true, and maybe that's why his numbers weren't that bad. But we were playing against a lot of, a lot of stacked boxes last year too. So we'll see. We'll see how they, they certainly shouldn't be getting their rushing 4 or 5. But yeah, establishing the run game, that's never, it's not a secret. Broncos fan, everybody needs to do that, man. And I think Bo would certainly love that. Last year, you're talking about 10 games of J.K. Dobbins where we're averaging over 5 yards a carry, and then we dropped down to 3.7 yards a carry. It just can't happen again. Now, strangely enough, Jaleel was at like over 5 almost the whole season, but so limited. It's only 37 carries, and he's the same size as RJ. Like, we just need, like, I'd rather have him bring in, Prentice or somebody to run the ball on 3rd and 2 than one of those guys. But yeah, I mean, this question here, this is great. I just don't know, like, how to answer that. Like, Bo and the shotgun, if we're getting aggressive and Davis Webb's going for it and we're going 5 wide, he's going to have, like, this will be Bo's 3rd year, right? So isn't he going to have all his hot reads done? He's going to have Jaylen Waddle, who's just a pro at route running, who's going to make the right decision. And when the wide receivers are on either side and they're all looking in at the quarterback, and they're also looking at the pass rush, like, who is somebody blitzing here? Where's my hot read? These guys need to be good at that if they're going to do that. But if they can be, I think we got the guys where we could make people pay. I'm not saying we want to do 5 wide too much, but it could be fun. Like, it could be fun. I'm just saying, like, I'd like to get to the point where we're scoring 30 points a game, like, just be a powerhouse offense. Toto been saying this, but everybody wants Bo to lead the league in throws again, which is wild. Balance and running late in season wins championships. Yeah, hard to argue with that. Bo threw the ball more than anybody else last year. Be curious to see. I don't want to look it up because when I'm by myself and I try and look stuff up, then everybody's like, TikTok, dude. Time's clicking. We're just sitting here watching you, like, look for something. But I think this past season, like the teams that made the playoffs or that were in the playoffs were a little more. I mean, the passing game is kind of the thing these days. But you saw what happened in the AFC Championship game. No, you're absolutely right, Turtle. If we could have run the ball in that game, we probably could have won it, even with Stiddy back there. Rodney, hope we draft a running back in the 4th round. You got any names in mind in the 4th round? I don't have anybody there. E-Pound 350. Denver had Judy, got Waddle. Now go get Ruggs. No. I can't even tell if that's a troll or not, because it's a great chat though. Garrett, hey, what's up, buddy? Offensive question marks. Future running back 1. True. Future tight end 1. True. O-line depth. Man, we have not invested in our O-line in like forever. So yes, we have pretty good depth right now, but everybody's aging. Inside linebacker play, takeaways. Yep. Those are the question marks. That'll be about play. And that's both a on-field play and a what am I looking for? It's like a question of team building, drafting. The window's open right now, and plus the coaching and the takeaways. So it's like this is not a perfect team. We know that. I mean, this team could go out there and go 12-5 and make the AFC Championship game and not win. We don't know anything yet. But I think they should be favorites. I think they have the best roster across the league in the AFC. I mean, everybody's just got way bigger holes and question marks than we do. Like, we could go out there with the team we have right now and compete at a very, very high level. And other teams are still trying to figure out what they're going to do in some really bad positions. Rodney's super excited for this offense and dialed up play calls by Webb. Can't wait. Yeah, same with me. And the more I hear about him and the more I hear about kind of the relationship that the guys like Sean and he are planning, the more excited I get. I'm also excited about the new wide receiver coach. His name escapes me right now. That they fired their last one because those drops were ridiculous, man. We were second most in the league, and Bo can throw some better balls. A little bit of that's on him, and I know it's not like the most important stat in the world, but yeah, these guys have to do a better job of catching the balls. Those we can't be missing passes in this league, especially when we're playing them that tight. This and Jaylen Waddle is not going to do that. What good is 5 wide in the snow? Yeah, no kidding. Not much. God, we didn't really have how many snow games has Bo played, and has he showed out in those games? It might be an interesting study to see, like how good does Bo sling it in the snow? Like, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. But the one thing I will tell you about wide receivers in the snow, now I never played football in the snow. I was lucky. I played running back at Sheridan High in Denver. But then when I was a quarterback, I was in Central America because my dad was in the Army. And I never played. It was 75, 80 degrees every day. So I don't know, but I do know that the guy that knows which way they're going has the advantage over the guy that doesn't know which way they're going. So wide receivers do have somewhat of an advantage if the quarterback, can throw and grip the ball and throw well in the snow, and the guys can catch the ball. So I don't know that 5 wide. I don't know that we're going to be running a lot of 5 wide. So I'm not sure that's even that big of a deal. Jeremy Sean comes in. He says, biggest priority in the draft, running back, tight end, or linebacker. Well, you know me, man. It's running back. So I'm all about offensive weapons right now, and then tight end would fall behind running back. But honestly, we were all on horsepower hour the other day. I think it just depends on who's there, right? Like if Hill's there, or one of these guys, yeah, you take them and you go inside linebacker. But if my guys are there, Coleman, Pierce, these guys are there at 62, we don't have to move up or do anything. God, please, you Paytons, both you Paytons, get us a young running back, healthy, big, badass running back. That would be mine. And thanks for coming in, man. It's good to see you, brother. Rodney, I'm hoping Coleman. Yep, Coleman's my guy so far. But I could get talked into other people. It's just that I don't think they're going to be there. But now that I got everybody telling me, these guys are going to be there, it's starting to get exciting. But we're going to get fired up about the draft here in a few weeks, aren't we? It's going to be about that time. And I can't wait for it. Rodney can't wait for Ingram to get more involved. Yep. Talking about that all off season. Me too, man. What? Like, seriously, you brought in Evan Ingram. It was like the super exciting signing. And then he got 50 targets or something, or 70 targets. They didn't even look his way. It was crazy. And he's not like he drops the ball. He actually does. He's probably really good catching the ball, and he's really good running it when he catches it. He's like a wide receiver. I guess the problem that some of the more analytical guys throws at me is that he's like, it's almost a tell, like what's going to happen. But that goes back to the other guys in the chat, get the running game going, make them respect that, and then all of a sudden spring Ingram out and he's gone. I mean, he is a guy that can break it 70 yards. I mean, he really is still. So I'm excited about him. Davis, don't let us down. We lead the league in passing this year. We went to the Super Bowl. We led the league in passing the year we went to the Super Bowl. What good did that do? Ran the football down someone's throat. It's personal. It helps with play action. Yeah, all that's true. Now, Broncos fan, 1030. You are talking about the Seattle season. That was hurtful that you even said that. I'm just saying that you brought you brought that hate down on me, on us. But I love you. It's a bad memory. Somebody get me a tissue. There's nobody here but my German Shepherd, and she ain't moving. Big E, it's going to look a lot like what Buffalo runs when they go 5 wide. There's going to be a running back in there. Yeah. I don't see them going empty 5 wide. That would be crazy. So you're going to have to make sure, A, the guy can pass protect, B, 1, and B, I had a school teacher that used to say, she was my Spanish teacher, and she'd say something like, turn to page number B. She was crazy. So now sometimes with my wife, I'll go 1, this, and B. So Big E, I think you're right. So he's going to have to pass protect, and he's going to have to be able to leak out of the back. RJ was getting a little bit better at pass protection, I thought. JK, you're right though. If we've got the right running back there, I don't want to see Bo sitting back there, just by himself, especially early in the season, because I don't want him running around too much. You saw what happened when he got hurt last time. Let's try and keep him healthy. But yeah, it could look like that. I don't know when we'll find out what they're doing as far as if they're going to run that type of stuff. How much did Sean run of that last year? I don't know. Not much. Garrett, if Bo had played the AFC Championship game, we probably would have been up 2-3 scores by the time the snow hit, so it probably wouldn't have needed Bo to do much by then. Well, I think we've said it here. I think we say it every week. I think we all believe that there's no way that Patriot team comes into Denver and beats Bo. I mean, Bo beat a lot tougher teams just by throwing the team on his back. He would have done it in that game. Super Bowl, so to say. Good to see you too, brother. Could we see an in-season trade for a defensive player that puts the defense over the top? Now, I doubt it unless... I mean, I would be surprised. You'd have to have somebody on our defense really playing poorly or injured. And then in combination, you would need another team who somebody jumped out of them and took a spot, or they think is good enough to take a spot to make that happen. So I probably don't see that. I wish they would have upgraded that room when they had the chance, but not the end of the world. The defense can be top 5 instead of top 2. And if our offense is, it was kind of a top 10 offense last year. You talk about if you have a top 5 offense, and that goes back to the point earlier from whoever it was that said that, we had the number 1 passing in the league. And what did that get us? Well, our defense sucked. But if you have a top 5 offense and a top 5 defense, you're going to have a shot. That's what I'm saying. So, but yeah, if they get close and they need it, I think they could be aggressive later. But sitting here right now, I don't see it. From what I've heard, this draft isn't that good. I've heard more about 2027. Don't follow college enough to know. I've heard that too. Not like a super strong draft. Now, I guess the Carmelini point on that would be like drafting this is why I don't do draft stuff. I don't do mock drafts. I don't grade drafts. Of course I will on the show with the guys, but I'll mostly just host that. it's just it's like nobody knows anything. Because the pro game is just so different. I mean, there are some quote unquote surefire prospects, but even all the surefire prospects don't. Some of them just turn out to be complete junk. So we just don't know. We don't know how they'll adapt to the game. We don't like mentally. The game is just, especially on a Sean Payton team on offense. In fact, VJ too. To be honest with you, like technically, they just make things very difficult for players. Like it's not just like when we had Phillips as our defensive coordinator, they had like 4 plays on Super Bowl 50. Wade Phillips. There were like 4 calls. That was it. And they were like historically one of the best defenses of all time. And they won the Super Bowl for us. So like, I don't understand why it's got to be so tricky and difficult, but they make it that way. And it makes it hard for some of these guys to ever catch up. So the draft, I think they're drafting for depth. They're not looking for starters unless somebody falls to them at 62, like a running back. Yeah. Had only 1 TD in that Eagles game. Yeah, just no opportunities at all. But that was a game-saving TD, by the way. He catches the ball, makes somebody miss, dives for the end zone, gets it. Puts us right back in the game, and we win the game. So that was a huge play for us. He could have done a lot more for us. Wide receiver coaches won the best in the last 10 years at doing that job. Wide receiver coaches. I don't know what that means, dude. I'm missing your point there. Not sure what that is. Is Waddle good at getting? Yes, he is good at yards after catch. He's special, by the way. You are not going to recognize, like, we haven't had anybody like this in so long. I can't even remember the last time we had a wide receiver that could catch the ball with 3 people between him and the end zone and make all 3 of them miss and just fly away. He's one of the fastest players in the league, not just fastest wide receivers. And he plays really fast. And what I mean by that is, well, you guys know what I mean by that. I'm not talking to a bunch of idiots. Like with his pads on and game speed, like his game speed is super, super fast. Like these guys at the combine and their jumps and their, how many times they can lift 225 pounds and all that stuff. I'm just not into it, man. Like, let me see you on the field. And going back and watching almost every Jaylen Waddle play and catch and his one pass. Like I went back and looked at like my God, we haven't seen anything like that in a long time. Yes, that is one of his biggest qualities is his junk yards. Yeah, he's gonna catch a ball 7 yards, and he's gonna be looking for a lot more. Like Court doesn't do that at all. Like just rarely. Like he's at the point now where he's a possession receiver, which is great because we have Waddle. I mean, like I said, everything's changed. Formation is called empty base, 3 wide or 1 tight end. Yeah, okay. Good man. I love it. I love that. Empty base at 3. Yeah, and I think I believe that is what I brought up here. That would be an empty base. So, and that's why I use that as our starters, because I think that's 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 running back. That's going to be our most likely most used formation, if you will, I guess. Again, the Davis Webb thing. There's going to be some changes. We don't know. Grandizer, where you been? Hey, Mikey, what's up? Just finished watching my movie stream. Your movie stream? What? You have a movie stream? Well, what is it? Am I confused? What movie did you watch? Walter's football grade on the Waddle trade. They said the Broncos got fleeced. They said they got a slow, broken down, and lonely wide receiver that no one wanted. Yeah, don't follow or read or pay attention to Walter football, and no, they don't watch football. I don't know what they do over there. I don't know what that site is. I think I followed him and he like followed me immediately, and that made me suspicious. Because why would he if he was, I didn't have any reason for him to follow me. And then I ended up finally just unfollowing him because I just was like, oh, this is completely useless information, because you want to use this stuff, for your show. When you come on, you want to, there's people out there, professionals doing the work. You want to read what they say. You want to, see what everybody's talking about and what their thoughts are. What do you not know? And if you're looking at bad information, and there's some of them like the NFL rumors, and there's a few sites out there that one Clive guy or Cleve or whatever his name is, like, man, it's just all the worst stuff. Waddle, Grandizer Waddle, sneaky quick, runs the routes well, gets open, hit him in stride, and he's gone. Absolutely. Something we haven't had, Emmanuel Sanders time? It really feels like an Emmanuel Sanders signing to me. Although I think as great as Emmanuel was, he never had the burst or the moves that you're going to see from Waddle. So, Garrett, don't know if we find both our guys at tight end and running back in the draft. No, we won't. Very unlikely there. If that's what we're talking about, most likely we get one and the other guy will just be a depth player. Yeah, I agree with that too. They say Waddle is a slot wide receiver. Yeah, he's not a slot. Okay, so I'll just read yours because you're about to say what I was going to say. He's not a slot wide receiver that plays like a Z with the heart and fight for the ball like an X. Yeah, he's a Z. He is a Z. He will play the Z, I'm sure. Court will be the X, right? And then, but Waddle could play slot because he's like I think if you're still talking about Walter, it's because he's like 5'10" or something. Like, so they just immediately say he's a slot, and that's what they said about Emmanuel Sanders when he came here. There was a slot receiver. He played all over the place. We're gonna pigeonhole these players too much, but there's a lot of people watching tonight. Thanks everyone for tuning in. You see on the top it says like and sub to Mile High Monsters. Yeah, the show it was the fastest growing show, and then one guy that had a show that already had a show broke off and made a new channel, so they gained 11 subscribers since January, but their percentage was 40% growth. And so now I'm second at 30%, but I'm at 2,300 or something like that. So thanks to all you. And if you're new here, please subscribe. I'd love to have you guys back, and we'd love to have you in the chat. Appreciate you all. Empty base formation, and I hope to see a lot of bunch formations. I was talking to somebody about that today, running a bunch formation, and yeah, that's going to be fun, especially if you're sticking. God, imagine sticking like Franklin and Waddle and like Pat Bryant on one side, and then you could throw Court on the left if Ingram's still in the game, and then RJ's in the backfield. I feel sorry for anybody that's like trying to figure out like who they're going to cover at that point. Could be fun. No, apologies. No, it's a channel I follow, the Scene Snobs. All right, everybody go check out the Scene Snobs. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's about movies. I'm guessing. Kind of funny, I hope, or fun to watch. Don't have to watch football all the time. I'm going to go in and watch Landman tonight. Have you guys watched Landman? It's on Paramount Plus. It's like the maker of Yellowstone made Landman. It's got 2 seasons out. It's phenomenal. So good. So good. Don't watch it when the kids are around. Big E, next year's draft class has a lot of potential, but what gets coaches fired faster than anything is drafting the wrong people, not developing talent, going crazy at the podium at the end of the year. All those things. Going to the Raiders, especially, will get you fired faster than anything. like 5, and they've tied for like 5 in 5 years. Oh man. Garrett, I feel like Jaylen Waddle has been getting so much unnecessarily hate after this trade. Really? From who? They loved him in Miami. I can tell you that. I mean, you just like I went to Twitter and I went on their announcement for the hey, thanks, Jaylen. You know, we love you, gonna miss you. The official Miami Dolphins site, and then I immediately go to the comments because I wanted to see what the Dolphin fans, you know, said and what they were thinking. And man, they were just like, dude, we're going to miss you so much. This is crap. You know, I know we're rebuilding, but man, this one's tough to take. I'm heartbroken. So, yeah, we got a good one there. 15 strong watching on YouTube. Nice. I got 177 up on the counter, so it must be all on Twitter. Waddle should do well. Just matters how quick and how well him and Bo can establish a connection. Waddle being a veteran will help. Yeah, it's nice. And he's 27, so he's like right in his prime. Like it's prime time for him. When are you going to have that guest known as Dave again? That was hilarious. Dave and I do a show every week. Basically, we are the monsters. You guys are monsters too now, but Dave was on, and was it you, Grandizer? That's right, it was you that was like, you know, the guy on the left, your guest. It was hilarious. But you probably just only saw with me on it. But that's you know, David Talks Broncos. He's he's my right hand guy, and we do at least 2 shows a week, especially during the season. So he. Zach Seegers from Let's Talk Broncos and I do the post-game show every week after every game. And yeah, it's one of the best of the year. And I absolutely love David. He's fantastic. Yeah, about movies. Landman, the TV show, or nope, I'm talking about Landman, the TV show. So I'm going to go eat some food. Oh man, is it? It's getting late. Love it though. Can I talk Broncos all night, man? Can't stop us. I stay as long as you guys want to. Waddle is a complete wide receiver. He can play in any and all wide receiver slots. Yeah, I think it'd be fun to like move him around. You got to be careful though. At least he's going to have to learn. Hopefully he picks up the offense really quick. But yeah, might have to wait a little while. Maybe they'll put a few wrinkles in there, but they're going to want him to know, like, he and Bo are going to have to be on the same page a lot, because Waddle is going to see things that, that Bo's not, like pre-snap and then post-snap, like depending on what the defense does right after the snap. That's when Waddle has to decide what route he's going to run. And based on what Bo sees, he has to know in his head, oh, well, Jaylen's going to do this in this situation. And then all of a sudden you see a ball floating into nowhere and you're like, what the hell was that? And then somebody will say, well, they definitely had bad communication on that one. That's what they mean when they say communication. It means somebody ran the wrong route, or somebody threw the wrong route. It wasn't the communication. It's not like somebody told him to go there and he didn't go there. It's that things change, and that the route tree or it's read, react, and then run the route. Like you have to be able to see it fast and then know which way to go. And your quarterback can't watch you the whole time to see where you're going. So I think they'll have to be a little careful with this. But yeah, he could play anywhere. But he needs to say, they need to get on the same page, not just him like learning the plays, but Bo needs to know like kind of what he does in all these different situations, and they'll talk about it and they'll work it all out. So Grandizer says, hey, Sid, I agree with Garrett. Why'd you hate to agree with Garrett? Garrett's got good points. Most people don't watch Dolphins football, so they don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, this is did I miss something? God, these jumped ahead. Here we go. Yeah, guy on the left, the bloke on the left. Yes, never seen him before. Man, go follow David Talks Broncos. I'll put his link in the description for you. But it's at David Talks Broncos. right on YouTube. You'll find him. He's great. And he honestly puts out a ton of content. He must like not do anything but go to the gym and then go on air. So, yeah, he's definitely more like Emmanuel Sanders. Ooh, and Eddie Royal combined. I mean, there's some of that in there. Eddie Royal could have been special. That was kind of weird. We had Eddie Royal and Cutler and Scheffler, and who else did McDaniels come in and immediately get rid of and just tear our team apart? Can't remember. People heard Waddle and Dolphins, and they automatically think he's not good. Same with A-Chain, who had like 1,300 yards last year, by the way. Fourth round. I would take A-Chain. I would trade our second round pick for A-Chain right now and just go for the Super Bowl. Like, screw that pick. But I don't think that's going to happen. But I would do that. I went and watching all that Waddle film. I got to see a lot of A-Chan or A-Chain. Is it A-Chan? He's a good looking running back. He'd be a great addition to that room. And people saying Waddle had a down year last year. He had 910 yards, which would have been the most in the AFC West, except for Cortland Sutton, on a team that just sent their $100 million quarterback out, was playing this Ewers kid, Quinn Ewers or whatever his name was. Like, that's why his year was down. It had nothing to do with Waddle. I think he missed one game. So yeah, he's going to be fantastic. Keep telling people who devalued Waddle, you have to give up a first and then some, or 2 seconds and then some. But nah, you ain't going to get him for a 4th round sober up. Yeah, no doubt. That was never happening. I can see Sutton in the slot. He's a bigger target. He can make less mistakes throwing to him. Yeah, like a big Y, I think they call that, or something. I don't know. I don't pretend to know this stuff. We did talk about putting a little Jordan Humphrey at tight end, though. We already lost number 17. Why not give him 84 or 85 and have him gain 15 pounds in the offseason and then go be he's a pretty good blocker, too. If you guys know, that's why Sean keeps bringing him back. Other than the fact that he's just like wildly, maybe romantically attached to way too many players. Like, it's crazy. He just brings all these guys back. But I almost said that as like a joke, but I think it kind of, like, if you want to keep Jordan Humphrey on the team, you're going to keep Wallencourt, Frank, Pat Bryant, and Mims. That's 5. LGH or LJ, Little Jordan Humphrey. That's it, right? I mean, Michael Bandy, he's on the practice squad if he's got practice squad eligibility. If you want to keep 5, but you want Little Jordan Humphrey in the game, then send Lucas Kroll down the road and put him at tight end. Like, what is Lucas Kroll going to give us that Little Jordan Humphrey can't? Lucas Kroll can't block. Cecil Lammey can't make him the best player of the team, no matter what he says. That's just the facts. It would take 2 second rounders for A-Chain at least. So this and next year's, and maybe a 4th, 5th, and 22nd. Yeah. And you know what I think the problem is too, is I think his rookie deal is up after this year too. So it would be like a 1 year. So it's probably a bad move. Which is why I talk about football on YouTube, and I'm not a GM, nor shall I ever be, at least not in football. Like Waddle did this with average below O-line. Imagine what he'd do. Yeah, he would be good. He would be really good, man. I believe it. I'd love to see it. Don't see it happening. I want to check. I always do this just for you guys. Where's my little thing? Here we go. So bookmarks. I do want to see if I bookmarked anything to get your guys' take on. Where's my bookmarks go? Why is my Twitter so big? That's what she said. Uh, yeah. So Andrew Mason, yeah, is running back now a draft must for Denver. It's Darian Price or Jonah Coleman be the answer. So he agrees. Um, kind of what we're talking about, like at 62. Yeah, it better be one of those guys. Um, and I bookmarked the Tyson Anderson thing. Oh, this draft. This is one I wanted to tell. And somebody brought this up in the chat earlier. Like Warren Sharp from Sharp Football, he put out this graphic. I should have shared it with you, but it's like draft capital used to draft a O line since 2022, and the Broncos rank absolutely dead last by like a ridiculous amount. Like they haven't even attempted to use. I know. The last time we took an offensive tackle was in 2017, right, with Bowles. Like that's just like that. That bill's going to come to call, but it's not this year, guys, because this is our Super Bowl run. We've made that very clear. All right, let me see. Let me check the chat before we get out of here. Imagine here we go. This is why the bot should have never committed to JK. We could have made a move on. So I have mixed feelings on this because I'm a huge J.K. Dobbins fan. But I wanted Tyler Algier. I wanted ETN. I wanted, in some ways, I wanted Walker. Having said that, this is a risky signing, but I think JK is a better running back than HN. Not by like a huge margin, but I think JK is better. I just don't know if he can stay healthy. So it's a risk. Yeah. And we committed to him. I think it's a 2-year 20, but I think it's like basically a 1-year $8 million when it all boils down. So it's an overpay, but it's not a killer. Turtle said that was his hope as well. Josh McDaniels is the one that came in and traded everybody away. I know. Didn't I say that? McDaniels? McD. He's one of the most hated men in Broncos country. Just does that everywhere he goes. What's up, Shy? How do you feel about Jaylen Waddle? Dude, how you come in at the end of the show and ask that question? That's like literally that was like the first 30 minutes of the show. That's all we've been talking about, man. I feel great about it. How do you feel about it? I hope you feel good about it, man. Super psyched. I think it changes everything. I think it changes everything for the offense. I think it changes everything for Davis Webb. I think it changes everything for the running game. Hell, it's going to change things for the defense. Like we were terrible at like going 3 and out. Maybe we can stay on the field and give the defense a break. Also, imagine this defense, guys. If the Broncos can start scoring points like a proper offense, like I'm not complaining. Like I love Bo Nix, I love RJ Arby, I love like the clutch wins, but we weren't exactly blowing people away on offense. We only had like 2 or 3 games where we looked like we really had something going. But if we could start doing that, the defense is going to be exponentially better because that's a defense that thrives on like pass rush, right? Making plays. Everybody's complaining we didn't like make the plays and get the turnovers and all that stuff. The type of defense we were playing was like God, let's run this clock out and just try and keep a low scoring win. Now it's like, screw it. Let's go after them because we're going to put up 30 points and then they're going to have to start dropping back and they're going to get predictable. And then Benito and Cooper and all those guys can start going after the quarterback again, like we want them to. So, Shai, glad you feel great about it. Yeah, why wouldn't you? Dobbins would still be a free agent right now if we didn't sign him. Oof. Yeah, maybe. Look, man, I agree with everything you're saying. I think that's possible. But man, they love him and he loves the Broncos. The teammates love him. It was a Liz Frank. It's like a freak injury. They believe he's going to be healthy. And if he's not, he'll be a free agent later. And they'll eat that guaranteed money. But I don't know. I called my shot already. I said I think he plays at least 14 games this year. Might have some minor stuff, but I think he's going to be a huge factor, and I think he's going to go for 12 to 1,300 yards. Best trade. So like of all of free agency, yeah, I like that. I think it was the most impactful, because this was a team that didn't do anything to improve through the first part of free agency, brought back a lot of players who were just okay. Some of them for 3 years, which was kind of crazy. Others for 2, but a lot of those signings are for 1 year. They don't mean anything. So like Jaleel and all those guys that signed a 1-year contract to come back, that doesn't mean anything yet. That's just, they can be cut at any time. They can be cut tomorrow. It doesn't hurt them. They can be cut during camp. That's just like camp bodies. So you got to have 90. You're gonna have 90 guys running around out there. You got to fill that practice field up. So, but that trade, I said it yesterday on yesterday's show that it just changed everything. It really did. Oh, Broncos fan, you're wearing me out. JK talked his way into a contract. Greenlay was injured. We got rid of him, but we signed JK. That makes no sense. There was more to Greenlaw than, so you can't compare. First of all, they play 2 different positions, which you know. You had both. The only thing they have in common is they were both injured, right? I think JK played 10 games. I think Greenlaw played like 4. But anyways, Greenlaw was not a good fit in the locker room. He was not well liked in the locker room. He did not study, or he couldn't understand the defense. So that's why he's gone. And I thought it was a great signing. It didn't work out. I think that bringing JK was back was a good signing. Still think it's a good move if they get a backup for him. So, oh, all right. Well, I got that backwards then. I thought we got 10 games out of Dobbins, and I thought Greenlaw only, like, I know he missed a game for suspension, then he missed 4 games, and then so he may have played more games, but he was like on snap counts and he wasn't playing very much. He just really didn't have any impact. It just didn't work out. It's disappointing. I wanted him to. I was excited about it. And honestly, I was sad when they cut him. Don't get me wrong. I wish that they hadn't, but there was more to it. Trust me, I know there was. He was not wanted back, not just by the coaching staff or the front office. I wish they could have made a deal where they got both wide receiver and running back for mine, no doubt. Like, I would have given the first, the second, and the third, and just taken Waddle and A-Chain right there and been done with it, and said, we're done. We'll see you in the 4th or whatever. Uncle said, why the Broncos so stupid giving up the first round pick 32 to the Dolphins? Yeah, you should tell your uncle that the 1st and the 3rd, so those 2 picks, I think when you use the point system, are worth like the 20-something pick in the draft. Okay. That equals that, moving up to like the 20. Like, getting Jaylen Waddle with the 20th, 20 whatever pick in this year's draft is an absolute home run. Yeah, don't let that bother you. Don't let your uncle worry you. I'm sure he's a great guy, but he's not thinking it through. All right, guys, where are we at? Holy, hour and a half solo. I'm about to burn my throat out. You guys have been fantastic. Once again, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you think, what we should do for the rest of free agency. I'd like to see that. I read all the comments, even the ones where you guys call me an idiot. I do love it. I love every one of these shows. I'm so happy that you all joined us. Gosh, when will I see you next? What day is this? Thursday? I will see you guys probably tomorrow night, maybe around this time. If anything happens, for sure, I'll be on. If not, Saturday will be another monster show with Colin Cronin from Dublin. Always a great show. Shy's not going to let me leave. He never does. Oh, he's a Raider fan. Yeah, I mean, Shy, you know that there's nothing better. I have a brother-in-law who's a Raider fan. There's nothing better than having a Raider fan try and talk smack to you, because you literally have every advantage in the world in that conversation. Like, it's just they make it too easy. Like, they have nothing to say. What? Not in the draft? Come on. What do you mean? Running back, not in the draft. Turtle, I don't know what you mean, man, but you gotta. Why not the draft? Let's get a young, running back in there. Bronco fan, 1030. Your point you just made about DGL, I already knew that. My boy coached with him in New Orleans for 2 years. Sean Payton does not like any player that has a voice or opinion. He'll get ready. It's true. It's his world, and everybody's just living in it. Yeah, and there were some of the players too. So, yeah, he's Sean is like he's kind of like a dictator, but the players actually love him. Once they buy in, they love him. They just do. And the players that know him want to go back and play for him unless they got cut or something. And then, of course, there's always that kind of hate. But, you can be loud. I mean, Bo can be loud. He's not going to get rid of Bo. But you better be able to back it up on the field. And honestly, we didn't see that. That's why Sean Payton doesn't play Marvin Mims a lot. Really? I haven't heard that. I don't know that. I don't know. I think Marvin Mims didn't play because he couldn't learn the route trees we were talking about, and he kept picking the wrong routes. But he does some things really well. He was clutch for us at least once a month. Probably won 3 games for us, maybe 4. You could argue 4 games for us last year. I was going to do a whole show just on that. So I don't know why they don't play him, but I don't know that it's that. So let's end this on the high note. The Broncos have the best roster in the AFC. I think we proved that earlier. I think there's still time left for other teams to improve. But until then, we are the favorites. I will see you guys tomorrow. If not, I will see you Saturday with Colin Cronin. Until then, go Broncos. Thank you again for subbing. Thank you for everybody in the chat, including Broncos fan 1030, who gets mad at me every time and tells me what an idiot I am in his own little way. But I do love you because I need somebody to push back on that stuff. So what did you miss, T-Fishes? Oh, you say you're missing the stream? Look, see, I'll stay just for you. Just so that you can get on, because I miss you too. All right. Good night, everybody. Go.